ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश रूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथं वतीवं तं श्रीजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादां सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिकांत राधाकांत नमस्ते कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी पुष्पामि सुदेवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये पांचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णमिष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय ओम श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्ता वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Right the bit. So in the Dhyan Yoga part, we were in part no, the Dhyan Yogi, we this progresses on the path of Dhyan Yoga in the Karma Yoga section. There were six sections, and we did till fourth section. First was advancing in yoga through dash work, first in attachment or then nishkam necessary. Then we discussed that there is a necessity to progress from the yoga ruda stage to yoga ruruksha stage, right? And then section three, we further stages in the practice of yoga, the yam, niyam, asana, and pratyahara, dhyana, samadhi. And from there, we discuss how what is the necessity of controlling the turbulent wind, right? Why it is necessary? Because it only that will only will lead to basically to control the six enemies of us. Lust, calm, growth, low, the lust, the anger, the greed, intoxication, madness, the illusion, and the enemy. These six things needs to be controlled in order to control the mind, right? So the six enemies of the mind are these. If you control the mind, these six enemies are subdued. Because once we concentrate on the Krishna, then only we can achieve controlling of the mind. Okay, 6.37 new section. Krishna's opinion in the last part that one whose mind is unbridled, self-flagellation is difficult work, but he whose mind is controlled and who strives by appropriate means is assured of success. Right? So self-flagellation is very necessary, and it is a difficult work, right? But trying to control and appropriate means, Kali Yuga, the appropriate means, Nam Sankirtan and Yagna, right? If we do that, then we progress. The second part is, Vairagya. Firstly, the practice 6.36, and also trying to practice yoga while engaging the mind in material enjoyment is like trying to ignite a fire while, right? Because if we are doing sense gratification simultaneously, we are doing spirituality, what will happen? Igniting again and again daily, again pouring water through our sense gratification, right? So sense gratification, whatever chanting is being done, whatever we again pour the water, right? So the effect of that, the effect of the ignition is not felt by us, right? Similarly, yoga practice without mental control, the waste of time, right? Keep doing chanting for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Nothing we will reach, Golok Vrindavan, not even a G of Golok Vrindavan will reach, right? So it is necessary that sense control is there and sense gratification is stopped, right away. And the spiritual practice should be done in a very sincere spirit. Opinion, right? This is the opinion. The purport. So 6.37 to 6.45, we'll discuss section 5, and then finally, who is the best yogi? The destination of the unsuccessful yogi. For example, one was not reached the heavenly, what will happen to him? Then there are two answers Krishna will give in 6.42, right? That 4.2 and 4.1 and 4.2. And one will either attain heavenly enjoyment followed by aristocratic birth if they are slightly advanced, right? Suppose someone has reached 50%, someone has reached 20%, someone has reached 60%, right? It is, he is not, he is slightly 10%, someone is slightly advanced, right? So what will happen to him? But he is unsuccessful, right? So what will happen? He will go first to heaven. Then after that, he will take again birth in the human kingdom, in the Bhuloka, in the aristocratic family, right? So the chapati problem is solved, right? But one needs to again start from there. So secondly, what will happen? One who is, much more advanced, highly advanced, right? What will happen to 90% advanced, 80% advanced, 95% advanced, like that, much more advanced, right? He will, what will happen to him? He will get next birth in a family of wise transcendentalists that bring them immediate further training, right? Because the previous life, lot of his effort has gone into already the contemplating the self-realization process. So in the family of transcendent, what will happen? Already all the family will be already will be in the phase that what kind of environment must be given, so in order to have immediately go to the process of samadhi. So will get better in, right? So that is, but that is a risk one is taking still, right? Krishna is saying that, okay, for that also there is some arrangement is there, not to worry. What happens to unsuccessful transcendentalist? Although the begins the process of self-realization with faith, he later desists due to worldly mindedness and thus does not attain perfection. So this is, this is basically, self-realization with faith. He later desists due to worldly mindedness. A lot of worldly mindedness is there. Vishwamitra was there. So when Menka came, what happened? He also subdued the, calm, right? So it is very tough, right? So what happens? Worldly mindedness like this, right? Because it attracts a lot. It attracts a lot, and what happens? One gets followed because if one is not in Krishna consciousness, that he will start serving his own senses, right? But if we are serving the senses of the Krishna, then everything is surrendered. So for those doing this dhyan yoga path, the worldly mindedness can bewilder them and does not attain perfection in this. So Almighty Arm 620, Almighty Arm Krishna does not such a man who is bewildered from the path of transcendence, right? Arjuna is asking, who is bewildered from the path of transcendence, fall away from both spiritual and material success and perish like a riven cloud with no cushion in. This is the question, right? So, there is someone, there is a big cloud, right? There is a big cloud. Basically one wants to, a small cloud is there and one wants to reach to this big cloud, right? So this what is happening, if someone is not successful, it has tried its best, the wind is also in the direct direction of getting merged with the big cloud. But what happened? Sometimes something happened and the another wind came, and this small cloud went some other way and what was not merged in the big cloud, right? So what is happening basically? The material success, the spiritual success is not been because the path he was built from the path of transcendence fall away from both spiritual and material. Because material success was something, some mysticism he wanted, right? It also not got. Hello. Huh? Mm-hmm. जाओ, जाओ. Right, so what is happening, this cloud is not, with no position any sphere, right? It is not even merged with this big cloud, not even merged with somewhere else. It has someone gone into some vast space, right? So what this has happened with the cloud, right? So this is what happens, so Arjuna is asking that, Almighty Am Krishna, that because he's giving the example, he will fall away from both spiritual and material success. He will not be at the material also because he was not engaged in getting some pious activity, not getting some money out of it. And secondly, the spiritual is also not successful. So this is the bewilderment, this is the risk one has to take. So Arjuna is asking a apt question that, okay, one has tried but he is not successful because success is not guaranteed in our hands, right? Because all the results are in the hand of the will of the Lord. So he understands this thing, right? He understands this thing and asks this question. So this is my doubt, O Krishna, and I ask you to dispel it completely. But for you, no one is to be found. But for you, no one is to be found who can destroy it. Because no one else can destroy this doubt of Krishna. Because Krishna is unless and until is spoken by properly in the disciplic section, it is not that someone else will clear this doubt. So he is asking the same question. And this is my doubt of Krishna. And ask you to dispel it completely, right? From the root itself, right? But for you, no one is to be found who can destroy this doubt. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, 6.4, पार्थनैवेह नामुत्रा विनाशस्तस्य विद्यते नाहि कल्याण कृष्टे दुर्गतिं तात गच्छति. हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
हरे कृष्ण.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O son of Partha, a transcendentalist engaged in auspicious activities does not meet with destruction either in this world or in the spiritual world. One who does good, my friend, is never overcome by evil. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So here, personality Godhead is saying that Samapata translated engaged in auspicious activity. Right? He is engaged in auspicious activity. Right? Does not meet with destruction either in this world or in the spiritual world. Because he is doing auspicious activity. So good things will come, right? Good things will or the will of the Lord, good things will happen. Or in the spiritual world, there also what will happen, even if someone, for the Arjuna, he is doing his duty, he is doing the auspicious activity of fighting for the Lord. And the spiritual world is, even if he fails in the battle, if he is killed in the battle, then also heaven is there. So either way, here also he will enjoy the kingdom. And if he pass and if he is killed, then he will go to the heaven, right? Again and again Krishna is saying, for one who does good, my friend, is never overcome by it, right? Because one's mind is like that, he wants to do the good, right? So he will never, never be, he will be overcome by the, because doing good is his propensity, is his innate nature, right? The soul wants to everything because it is already blissful, it is already having itself, right? Everything, because it is always blissful, it is it is having all the knowledge, it is eternal. So it is not cared about anything, but due to the influence of the material nature, three modes of material nature, one is acting in the tamoguna, one is acting in the rajoguna, one is acting in the satoguna. Various gunas one is acting just because of the material. But here Krishna is saying, but one is engaged in auspicious activity, right? By chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, worshiping the deity, Vandanam deity, then a chant and hearing the glories of the Lord, right? And doing remembering the Lord, right? And doing the services in the temple and the services and for making, for pleasing the Lord, right? For pleasing his devotees of the Lord, right? And doing all the activities whatever is there with your senses, the five karmendriyas and five gyanendriyas, in order to please the Krishna, then it is an auspicious activity, right? So that is, it will never be overcome by evil, right? The example here given is Ajamila, right? Ajamila, when he just chanted, just at the last part of during the dead time, just called his son Narayana, because he has done in the previous, in this life, what he has done, that in the first part of when he was young, when he was a teenager, what he did when he was just entering the youth, he has done the pious activity, because he came to the family of a Brahmana, right? The priest of the village, the son of the priest of the village was Ajamila, right? So he was very pious at that time, but just because engaging his eyes in sense gratification, he abandoned his family, and he ultimately, at the deathbed, when he called, when he called his son Narayana, then Narayana itself, himself appeared. So the pious activity which he had done in the first part of life, that resulted in Narayana king, right? So here the example of Ajamila is, that's why given, right? The one who has done some things good, that everything, it will never be overcome by evil. The because time can wait, because after that he was involved in auspicious activity, but it was not like he was granted directly to the Golok Vrindavan. Then he was granted like, okay, you continue. So he acknowledged Krishna, and then when he acknowledged Narayana, then he continued with the spiritual life, and then he was sent back to Vaikuntha. So the chance is given, the opportunity is given, right? So everything, we think that everything that is around us, so many good people are also there, they are getting evil things. So it's not like that, it's not like that. Some things are from the past are working for them, some things in this life, but whatever good they are doing, whatever good one is doing, ultimately it will be resulting in something good, right? But we are into the Nishkam Karma Yoga. Nishkam Karma Yoga is always doing something for the Lord without any expectation, right? That is the Nishkam Karma Yoga. So the unsuccessful yogi, what happens to unsuccessful yogi? The pious birth into good family, right? This happens to the unsuccessful yogi from 6:14:45. Pious birth will be taking place in a good family, revives the divine consciousness in the early stage of your life, right? In near stage, early stage of the life, that is youth. The youth itself, because in the earlier he was, one was getting old and then he achieved, but now since he is into the transcendental family, then he will revive the divine consciousness early because already all the procedures is being taught, or the how to practice is being taught, right? Because there is a luxury with the king that he will get the chapati, right? They will get their chapati in the all the times, right? But it is not a luxury with the labor class that he will get the chapati in the morning or not, in the evening or not, right? So that is the that is the luxury one is getting if having if going to the family of a rich aristocratic family, or similarly a spiritual family is giving you the spiritual wisdom. It depends, right? What kind of someone is going into the a rich family, then he might not have been successful. So the Lord grants him, okay, you now take, your chapati problem has been taken care of. Now you just concentrate on me. That is just concentrate. But that is a risk, right? We need to take the risk. Okay, we are unsuccessful. Then what will happen? We will go. We will take that opportunity or not take that opportunity is totally up to us. Again, the will be there, right? Again, the three modes of material. In this life only we need to try and thrive for becoming Krishna consciousness, so that whatever life we get, we become directly Krishna consciousness, right, from the beginning itself. So naturally attracted to the yogic principles, it is for the yogic principles, examples of the thing we have. Unsuccessful yogi, after many, many years of enjoyment on the planets of the pious living entities, is born into a family of righteous people or into a family of rich aristocracy. Right? 6.41 for a person who is not much successful, who is less advanced in a yogic practice or mysticism practice. What happens, after many years of enjoyment on the planet of pious living entities, which is heaven, is born into a family of righteous people or into a family of rich, right? Both the way, he is winning only, even if he's unsuccessful, then also he is winning only. So this is what happens, 6.41 the Krishna tells in this. And 6.42, okay. Second part, what happens to some much more advanced one? Or if unsuccessful after long practice of yoga, or he takes his birth in a family of transcendentalists, right, who are surely great in wisdom. Certainly, such a birth is rare in this world, right? Like Srila Prabhupada took, already just giving the example, right? It's not as per the Shastra, just giving you example that someone, a small child already born into a family having a transcendentalist father who is already worshiping the deities of the Shri Radha Krishnas. And what will happen? At the early stage of life, he will get the opportunity to serve the Lord. He will know what is devotional service, right? The opportunity is there. So he will be advanced at the beginning itself. Will be advanced at the beginning. So such a family, a transcendentalist family is there, right? So whatever pious deed we, whatever we thrive, whatever we become, ultimately the consciousness result in something good, right? It is not like we do good and nothing it will happen. No, these are the things what will happen, right? If someone is trying to achieve self-realization itself is a commendable job, and is a commendable thing to have, that one is striving to have self-realization and connecting with the Lord and becoming do the yoga, the process of union with the Lord. Itself is a very pious thing, the very good karmic reaction which is coming just because of the mercy of the Lord. On taking such a birth, he revives the divine consciousness of his previous life, and he again tries to make further progress in order to achieve complete success, O Son of God. So in the first part, what is happening? Unsuccessful, after many many years of enjoyment. So no, this birth also, in the successful or unsuccessful also, and they were taking longer time. What is happening? No, the Bahunam Janmanamante Jnanaman Prapadyate. After many many births, one tries to attain the knowledge of the Lord, right? Bahunam Janmanamante Jnanaman Prapadyate. He knows the knowledge of worshiping. Vasudevam Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha, right? So this again, similar shloka is in the seventh chapter. Yes, seventh chapter also, that Bahunam Janmanam, right? Again, after many births, cycle of births and death, right? This rare, such a birth is rare, is there only, right? Some after many births, one who is basically having the knowledge of worshiping the Krishna is such a Mahatma is very rare. Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha, right? And what is happening again? Then on taking such a birth, he revives the divine consciousness. Then again, the divine consciousness of his previous life he will get, and he again tries to make further progress in order to achieve complete. So Lord gives you chance again and again, right? Lord is very merciful. He is not like he is not so cheap that you try something and he takes it away. No, he does not do that. He does not do that, right? He is not a punisher, right? He is basically trying as to he is trying he is trying that we achieve the ultimate bliss by the will of us, by the will of us. Because if there is will, then there will be love, right? If there is no will, then there will be no love for the Lord, right? So in order to love the Lord, we need to have some will. So we need to understand our fundamental position of serving the Krishna, or we are the fundamental position of we are the eternal servitor of the Lord Krishna. If we understand that, if we understand that, we realize that, then we will try to thrive, to gain Krishna consciousness as fast as possible, right? At the current stage, we are not at that level. So what we are doing, we are trying to do devotional service by chanting and hearing. We are doing Shravanam and Kirtanam. By chanting Shravanam and Kirtanam is going, even one is correctly exhibited. Just hearing the Bhagavatam, if we do that, or just hearing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra properly, then also it is a successful life. That itself is a successful life. Single devotional service done perfectly lifetime will be a success, will be a success. So that itself is a success. So we need to achieve that itself. By virtue of the divine consciousness of his previous life, he automatically becomes attracted to the yogic principles, right? One will be attracted because he knows what is correct, what is not correct. The divine consciousness is there. The Paramatma in there is telling, the intelligence of the Paramatma is telling in there that okay, you go there. Even without seeking them. Such an inquisitive transcendentalist stands always above the ritualistic principles of the scriptures. Right? So such a who is having inquisitive, right? Already all inquisitiveness is there, and such a transcendent, such a yogi, right? From the birth itself he will try to achieve the drive. You see that these children are directly engaged in the service of the Lord, right? They are so much happy because they have done some karma, done some things, they are reviving those devotional services, right? They have got those chance, they've got this opportunity already in a family, that okay, now they are trying to achieve the Krishna consciousness. So in the starting phase, because that we want to basically, what we do in our life, we want to apply some things of Gita. What you will do, you will apply the shloka, right? If you want to remember the shloka, then you must have a good memory. And the such a childhood state, what will happen? One will be remembering the shloka very easily, right? So he will learn first. He may not understand that much, but yes, he will learn. When it is time to apply, at least he will remember, yes, this is spoken by the Lord, yes, this was the translation spoken by the Lord, yes, this was the purpose spoken by the Lord, and in this part of my life I need to do that. So he is having the guidance from the book, he is having the guidance from the spiritual master, right? So this is the mercy provided by the Lord himself, right? One has tried his level best to do everything, but he is still unsuccessful. And again, he will, in the starting phase of the life itself, from the early phase of the life, in the youth itself, he will get the chance, to reach the successful, to reach the success of bhakta, to become an eternal servitor of the Lord, right? So such an inquisitive translator stands always above the ritualistic principles of the scripture. Right? He will be above because he will be directly into devotional service. He will be realized. He will be feeling the love of the God. Right? He will be knowing that okay, this is my eternal fundamental position. Right? And when the yogi engages himself with sincere endeavor in making further process, right? Endeavor is necessary. Endeavor is necessary. Being washed of all contamination, then ultimately achieving perfection. After many births of practice, he attains the supreme goal, right? So this is the process, right? This is the process. He is basically the yogi, and it is the endeavor should be there, and being he will be another stage will be there very fast, and ultimately achieving perfection after many births of practice. And Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan Ram Prapadam Vasudevam Samramamiti Samahatma Sudurlama. After many births of practice, right? After achieving perfection, after many births of practice. Many births it take also to achieve the perfection, attains the supreme again and again, right? Till our till our purity is there, till all the sinful reactions have been taken away, right, from the Lord, right? So that will lead to the complete surrender. From the complete surrender, one will lead basically, you see that one was into the see in the right picture that one was into the sense gratification. From there, highest sense gratification is the sixth measure. So from there one is advanced to the phase of some chanting and doing some kirtana, some sadhu sangha will be there, then anartha vritti will be there, when engaged in the bhav will come. So this is the stage, starting at the just knowledge is there, though, that you are not the body of the soul, the self-action starts from there, ultimately knowing that who is the Lord, then ultimately progressing to the bhavas, prema, Krishna prema stage. So this is the process one needs to achieve. Now, he will come that Krishna will tell who is the topmost yogi as per his opinion, right? The yogis are greater than empiricists, purificators, or and ascetics, who are through their empirical formula, they are empirical thinking basically from logic. They are trying to reach, the conclusion of the God. The yogis are better than that. They are better than fruitive workers, and they are better than ascetics. Of all yogis, those who with full faith always think of Krishna and render transcendental loving service to him are on the highest. So this is the 47th shloka, right? Of all the yogis, right, who has always full faith, right? Full faith, yogi nam api sarvesham, right? Those who with full faith always think of Krishna and render transcendental service, loving service, it is necessary, preeti, to him are the highest of preeti purva, right? So 6.46, a yogi is greater than ascetics, greater than the ascetic, greater than the empiricist, and greater than the fruitical. Therefore, Arjuna, in all circumstances, be a yogi. Be a yogi. He is not telling him to become an ascetic, abandon everything, go into the forest. No, don't do that. Become a yogi, become a Nishkam Karma yogi, become, not become a fruitive worker. Don't think about the gain and the loss about this. Don't think about that. Don't think about the result. Don't become a fruitive worker in this, change your attitude in this war. And so he is basically, you will be better, you will be better. Don't be an ascetic, don't be empiricist, don't apply your empirical formula logical about, logical thinking around this. This is the fact, this is the fact that I am stating, right? This is the fact, you can realize it, this is practical, right? You do some practical things. So better than we, go to the logic and, sitting in a secluded place and do the empirical calculations and all. Don't do that, right? Fight here, right? So this is the such a yogi is better. So therefore, Arjuna, in all circumstances, be a yogi. So he's saying, as a yogi, you fight. As a yogi, you fight, right? And in 6.47, now Krishna tells, O Ginam api Sharvesham Adgate Nantara Atmana Shraddhavan Bhajite Omam Sami Yukto Tamomata. Krishna translation. Hare Krishna translation. Then one would like to. Okay. And of all yogis, the one with great faith who always abides in me, right? Who is having the great faith who always abides in me, thinks of me, right? Yoginam api sarvishna, of all, best highest of Mad gatinantara atmana. Great faith who always abides in Mad gatinantara atmana and thinks of me within himself, right? Madgadananda thinks of me within himself and renders transcendental loving service to me. Shraddhavan renders transcendental loving. Vajite yumam, Shraddhavan, transcendental loving service to me. He is the intimately united with me. Same yukto tamomata, intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. That is now. This is Krishna's opinion, right? Who is the best yogi? First of all, you become a yogi, but who is the best yogi? The definition of the best yogi is one with great faith who always abides with me, right? Who is having a great faith, Shakti, Ruchi, Shraddha, Nishtha, everything is having. thinks of me within himself, right? He knows that Paramatma is inside me. Paramatma is inside me and renders transcendental loving service to me. Is always in loving that He is the Supreme Lord, He is the protector, He is the maintainer, and I am the eternal servitor of the Lord. This is the the loving service, always lovingly doing whatever and doing lovingly. Right? Srila Prabhupada also was a grahastha. He was a chemist. He also owned a shop. So and there is another grahastha who is also owning a shop. But you think that Srila Prabhupada was doing it for the Lord, or Grahastha is so he was doing it for the Lord. Everything used in the service of the Lord, right? Everything used in the service of the Lord. So that is the loving service to the Lord, right? That is a loving service to the Lord. Even a Grahastha can do a loving service to the Lord. Whatever your capacity is there, you do it as a service to the Lord, as a loving service to the Lord, willingly and lovingly, right? That will be more, that is more pleasing to the Lord. Gain 100 rupees, you give some amount of, you gain, with 100 rupees you can eat everything, you offer it to the Lord, and then you give. That is also loving service to the Lord, right? It is also loving service to the Lord. You cannot, with some money, you cannot, if someone is not so much, able to give, then at least whatever doing, at least do as a service to the Lord. At least do as a loving service to whatever your capacity is, as a loving service to the Lord. So that is the attitude of a yogi, right? So this is, and he is the most intimately united with me, right? He is already with me, right? He's already thinking, he's always thinking of the Lord and how to dress him, how to be with him, how he's what are his paraphernalias, what are his pastimes, what are his names, what does his names know, what does he say in the Bhagavad Gita, what does he say in the Bhagavatam, how to serve his devotees, how so such a beautiful devotees are there, they are doing so much service, how can I serve them? uh, Anything related to the Lord, anything related to the Lord, and be an instrument in that is a loving service to the Lord itself, right? Doing the devotional service, whatever service, someone is doing great, at least you cannot do, at least appreciate them. Yes, they are doing great. Then what will happen? The good qualities of them, they will come in. You are, if one is doing the fault finding, then bad qualities, it's better, but appreciate, one should appreciate that you are doing much better, you are doing so much good things, you are doing so much good things, right? So that will, that is a loving service, because we are glorifying the devotees of the Lord, right? So that is also pleasing to such a yogi, right? So such a yogi is very rare, right? Such a yogi rare. And of all yogis, the one with great faith, the great faith, one was here Krishna is, Krishna is playing with his, all the his gopas and the gopis, always they are always thinking, they are not betrayed, they are not, thinking about that. They are always engaged with the loving service with the Lord. They are always playing with him. They are always wanted to be united with him, right? Always they wanted to be united with the cows, the venu, the basically the flute, and everything in the Golok Vrindavan wants to unite with the Lord, wants to be with the Lord, as a tree, as a grass, as a flute, whatever the Shantarasa is there, right? Shantarasa, Dasarasa, right? Vatsalya Rasa, Sakhya Rasa, Madhuri Rasa, five kinds of rasa there, right? Any rasa one is, one is in, he's very happy. We did the shlokas, we did all sections, advancing yoga to various, various forms and dhyana yoga, and becoming the topmost yogi. Hare Krishna, any questions? Read some purport also. Today, Veda base is not working. Um, right. Chapters. Okay. We'll go to the text 40. पूर्वाभ्यासेन तेनैव आर्यते अवशोऽपि सा जिज्ञासुरपि योगस्य शब्दब्रह्माति वर्तते. Hare Krishna. Translation again.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
By virtue of the divine consciousness of his previous life, he automatically becomes attracted to the yogic principles even without seeking them. Such an inquisitive transcendentalist striving for yoga stands always above the ritualistic principles of the scriptures. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Perfection. बात की जाए. So here in purport, Shilpa tells that yogis are not advanced yogis are not very much attracted to the rituals of the scriptures, but they automatically become attracted to yoga principles, right? Which can elevate them to complete Krishna consciousness, highest yoga perfection in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Such regard, it is Vedic rituals. Aho bata swapachoto griyan yajivagre vartate nama tubhyam te pustapas te juhu shashnur arya brahmanuchur nama gananti yete. My Lord, persons who chant the holy names of your Lordship are far, far advanced in spiritual life, even if born in families of dog eaters. Right? Such chanters have undoubtedly performed all kinds of austerities and sacrifices, bathed in all sacred places, and finished all scriptural studies. Right? So this is mentioned. This is the Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 33rd chapter, 8th sloka. It is mentioned, no, who chant the holy names of your lordship. What are they? They're, even if they are born in family of dog eaters, they are much better. They are much better. They have done all the things. They have read all the scriptures. They have done all kind of austerities and sacrifices. Everything they have done. Then only they are able to chant your name. Right? This is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. The famous example of this was presented by the Lord Chaitanya, who accepted and Thakur Das as one of his most important disciples. Right? He used to chant, you know, whole day 192 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. It took around 18 hours, 17, 18 hours it took. Then he used to take his, first bite. So although Thakur Haridas happened to take his birth in a Muslim family, right? He was into the Muslim family. He was elevated to the post of Namacharya. He was given the upadhi of Namacharya because he used to take 192 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, right? And Lord Chaitanya. So he was very pious. He was very, he was used to glow just because, Nam, he was so much, as he was having the Shuddha Nama stage. There are three stages to take the name: the Nama Prada stage, the Nama Bhasa, and Shuddha Nama. Nama Prada stage, we are doing some Aprad also, we are doing some Aprad, and then Nam is we are taking Nam also. One need to do that, at least take the Nam, right? And we'll be gradually able to Nam Abhas state. Nam Abhas, you will feel the relish, sweetness of the name of Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. You can feel the, you can feel that you can taste the Hare Krishna mantra, right? Nama Bhasti. But to go to the, Vaikuntha Goloka, the Shuddha Nama state has to come, it gradually comes, right? So Haridas Thakur was given by Lord Chaitanya Namacharya due to his rigidly attending principle of chanting 300,000 holy names of the Lord daily. 192 rounds, 300,000 holy names daily was used. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And because he chanted the holy name of the Lord constantly, it is understood that in his previous life, he must have passed through all the ritualistic methods of the Vedas known as Shabda Brahman, right? Shabda Brahman, right? Unless, therefore, one is purified, one cannot take to the principle of Krishna consciousness, nor become engaged in chanting the holy name of the Lord. Hare. So, one coming to the at least the stage of chanting the holy name of the Lord is itself is a virtue of doing some all the austerities, all the reading all the scriptures, doing the sacrifices. Text for प्रयत्नात् संशुद्ध किल्बिषः अनेक जन्म संसिद्धस्ततो याति परां गतिम्. Translation.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
But when the yogi engage himself with senior endeavor in making further progress, being washed of all contaminations. Then ultimately, after many, many births of practice, he attained the supreme goal. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, but when yogi engages himself with sincere endeavor, making further progress, right? Sincere endeavor should be there, and being washed of all anatripritri should be there, but being washed of all contaminations, all the sense gratification, all these no desires are given. And ultimately, after many, many births of practice, attains the supreme words of purport. A person born in particularly righteous, aristocratic, or sacred family become conscious of his favorable condition for executing the yoga practice. Right? He will know that this is the thing I need to do, because and at the early stage of the when one is child, what happens? One is just imitating. The child is not thinking about anything. The child is whatever his parents are doing, whatever his brothers and sisters are doing, he will follow it. He will follow right away, right? So he starts imitating, because till 15 years, 16 years age, he is not able to understand things, because the Annamaya Kosh and the Pranamaya Kosh is active. The he's identify himself the body, right? Because Annamaya Kosh is everything he needs to eat. Pranamaya, he is very energetic, right? He is very energetic. So at that stage, he is imitating, right? So he is getting the favorable condition of at least imitating. He will start imitating, then he will come to the relations, right? With determination, therefore, he begins his unfinished task, and he will be able to realize that this is the thing I need to do. Because in the early stage, if one is getting such a family, then what happens? He will start in the beginning also, and he will be very blessed. He is because we cannot decide our parents, right? It is decided as per our karmic reactions, and as per one activities and whatever consciousness we have developed. And ultimately, doing the yoga practice and doing the becoming a yogi, doing some spiritual activity will lead you to such family, and you can progress at the starting itself. But it is a dangerous thing also, but because you are risking it, we need to try to do it in this life itself, right? Become as much serious as we can, and and make it is an urgent activity to do, right? And thus he completely cleanses himself of all material contaminations, and is finally free from all contaminations. He attains the supreme perfection, Krishna consciousness, right? So Krishna consciousness, ultimately all Narataripritti goes. Krishna consciousness is perfect stage of being freed from all contaminations, right? So one who has reached Krishna consciousness, he has basically all material contamination has gone. If there is you can reverse also, you can check that. Is there material desire coming in our heart? We have not become Krishna conscious. Okay, so if we have become Krishna conscious, and what is happening? We have no material contamination. No desire will come in our heart itself. No ill thought will come. Only thought will come to serve the Lord. Is that stage we have achieved? No. If that stage we have not achieved, then we are not currently Krishna conscious. So this is the gauge thing, right? This is the meter by which one can check, right? One has become Krishna consciousness or not. But one needs to stop it. No, because one will go from Namaprat to Shuddhana, Namabhas, then Shuddha. So this is the cycle. Then ultimately one has to uh, increase his faith from Shraddha to Krishna Prema, right? On one, on a single day it won't happen. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Yesham tvantagatam papam jnanam punya karmanam te dvanda moha nirmukta bhajante mam tadavritaha. Tadavrita means determination, right? After many, many births of executing pious activities, when one is completely freed from all contaminations and from all illusory dualities, one then becomes engaged in transcendental loving service. Text 46. तपस्विभ्योऽधिको योगी ज्ञानभ्योऽपि मतोऽधिकः कर्मिभ्याश्चाधिको योगी तस्मा योगी भवार्जुन. Translation. Okay, I will read. A yogi is greater than the ascetic, greater than the empiricist, and greater than the fruitive worker. Therefore, Arjuna, in all circumstances, yeah, yogi, right? But when we speak of yoga, we refer to linking up our consciousness with the supreme absolute truth. Right? Such a process is named differently by various practitioners in terms of particular method adopted. Right? It can be karma yoga, there can be jnana yoga, right? So predominantly empirical is when it is empirical, then it is Jnana Yoga. If it is spiritive activities, then it is Karma Yoga, right? So there are two types. Empirical through Jnana Yoga is cultivation of knowledge, and when it is predominant devotional service, it is called Bhakti Yoga, right? So there are three. If it is through activities, spiritive activities, then it is Karma Yoga. If it is cultivating knowledge, predominantly empirical calculations, then it is Jnana Yoga. And if we are into devotional relationship with the Lord, it is Bhakti Yoga, right? So ultimate perfection is the Bhakti Yoga. We saw the ladder also, right? The Lord has confirmed here in the superiority of yoga, but he has not mentioned that it is better than Bhakti Yoga, right? Currently in this shloka, Lord has said that yoga is superior. Yoga is superior, right? Union with the Lord is superior. In any day, union with the Lord is superior, right? But he has not mentioned currently that Bhakti Yoga is better. Right? Bhakti Yoga is full spiritual knowledge, and as such, nothing can accelerate it. Asceticism without self knowledge is imperfect. Right? Someone is ascetic, but he does not know that he is not the body and soul, that he has not cultivated, he has not come into an understanding that he is not the body and the soul. Then it is some imperfect. Right? Self knowledge, without self knowledge, it is imperfect. Empirical knowledge without surrender to the Supreme Lord is also imperfect. Empirical knowledge by you, Veda, Sarvesh, Sarvam, Aham Eva Vedya, right? He is the Veda. From his, everything is coming. And from the Vedas itself, from cultivating empirical knowledge, one is not come to the stage that he has to surrender to the Supreme Lord, then that is also imperfect. So Gyan Yoga is also not achieved, right? And fruitive worker without Krishna consciousness is a waste of time. One is fruitive worker and he is not Krishna conscious, then he will everything he will enjoy. He will not come to the stage of Nishkam Karma. Again, the bhakti is missing. Therefore, the most highly praised of form of yoga performance mentioned here is Bhakti Yoga. And this is still more explained experts, what we say. So now here basically, this shloka basically yogi is the better. So the other yoga system, what they tell about this, this shloka. They say that the yogi is any day a better. But in the 47th shloka, he will here clearly state that yoginam api sarvesham madgate nandara atmana dhavan bhajite yomam samayuktu tamamata. Shraddhavan Bhajitoma, in full faith renders transcendental loving service to me. This itself is a bhakti yoga, right? Here everything is merged, right? Karma yoga, the Jnana yoga, Shraddhavan. Shraddha comes when there is some knowledge. And Bhajite, transcendental serving comes when there is Nishkam Karma yoga. Everything is cultivating into the Bhakti yoga. Shraddhavan, faith is coming when there is faith is coming, there's knowledge of the supreme, right? So one is Krishna consciousness, right? So he is the better, right? Of the all yogis, he who always abides in me with great faith, worshipping in me, transcendental loving service, is most intimately connected with me in yoga and the highest. In the purport, the word bhajate is significant here. Bhajate has its roots in the word bhaj, which is used when there is need of service. Right? Service is bhaj. English word worship cannot be used in the same sense as bhajan. Worship means to adore or to show respect and honor to one. Right? Worshipping is that only. We be adoring someone or they're showing respect, one is shining honor. But service with love and faith is especially meant for the Supreme Personality of God. Right? So, सर्व भरितम प्रीति पूर्वकम भरितम प्रीति पूर्वकम. So, here Shraddhavan Bharitvam. Shraddhavan Bharitvam. Worshipping with, love and faith, especially meant for Supreme Personality Godhead. One can avoid worshipping a respectable man, or demigod, and may be called discourteous, right? One will say anything to Shiva Lord. One will say anything to the, Ganesha, anything. But one can avoid serving, but one cannot avoid serving the Supreme Lord without being thoroughly condemned. Right? You are serving the matter, then you are serving the inferiority of the Lord. That's it. Right? So if you are even serving, then also and you are avoiding Supreme Lord, then you are verily eating the sin. Right? One is verily eating the sin. He is not offering because one is doing sense gratification of the food. What is happening? You are basically killing the living entity in the plants, and then you are eating, and then in the meantime you are putting pesticide, you're killing the insects, you are whatever you are things you are doing. So one is not one is avoiding the Supreme Lord, right? Because he's not offering. One can avoid demigods, but they are, because they are there's some part of they are the managers, doing some things and some things, but Supreme Lord is everywhere. Is the all the inferior energy matter is all the Supreme Lord itself, right? So in that what happens, he is not offering to the Lord. then he is sure to be condemned, right? So without condemning, one cannot avoid. So one cannot even avoid Supreme Lord, right? So every living entity is part and parcel of the Supreme Personality Godhead, and thus every living entity is indeed to serve, is intended to serve the Supreme Lord by his own constitution. That is a fundamental position, fundamental position. For failing to do this, he falls down. The Bhagavatam confirms this, right? And the Bhagavatam says, Yesham Purusham Sakshat Atma Prabhavam Ishwaram Na Vajante Aja Avajanati Sanad Rashta Patanete Adaha. Anyone who does not render service and neglects his duty unto the primeval Lord, who is the source of all living entities, will certainly fall down from his constitutional position. So, if we are not doing, we are sure to be condemned, right? We are sure to be condemned. We are not rendering service and neglects his duty to unto the primeval Lord and not following. Then what will happen? We will certainly fall down from his constitutional position, where we will reach to the Muloka, right? We have rendered, not rendered, sender service, so we are here, right? We have neglected our duty to the primeval Lord, right? We are not serving there. Therefore, we have fallen down from its constitution. What was our constitutional position? To serve the Lord. But we have, we have not tried to do that. We have come here. In this verse also, the Bhajanti is used. Therefore, Bhajanti is applicable to the Supreme Lord only. To whom? To Bhajanti, right? Bhaje. Bhajanti and Bhaje, right? Bhajanti is also used. So here, no, to whom, na bhajanti, right? Who don't bhajanti, right? So is not worshipping, right? Whereas the word worship can be applied to demigods or to any other common being. But bhajanti is for the Supreme Lord. Word avayanati used in the first Srimad Bhagavatam is also found in Bhagavad Gita. Avayanati Mamamuda. Only the fools and rascals deride the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. Right? They are basically fools or the rascals, or basically, not accepting that the supremacy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, right? Such fools take it upon themselves to write commentaries on Bhagavad Gita. There is not, they is in Bhagavad Gita, but actually they should, it's a free country, it's a free place. One can write Gita as it is what they want, right? They write Gita, but they should not write as Bhagavad Gita, because Bhagavad Gita is the Gita spoken by the Lord. One can write Gita anything, but if one is claiming that it is Bhagavad Gita and is not a devotee, then it is rubbish only, right? Without, one is writing without an attitude of service to the Lord. Consequently, they cannot properly distinguish between the word bhajanti and the word worship. Worshipping can be for any demigod, but bhajanti for the Supreme Personality Godhead. The culmination of all kinds of yoga practices lies in bhakti yoga. All other yogas are but meant to come to the point of bhakti yoga. We saw in the ladder also that everything will culminate on ultimately to bhakti yoga. One will culminate to the platform that one will know that okay, there is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then ultimately what he will do the bhakti yoga. All other yogas are progressions toward the destination of bhakti yoga. From beginning from Karma Yoga to the end of Bhakti Yoga is a long way to self-realization. Karma Yoga without future result is the beginning of this path, Nishkam Karma Yoga. When Karma Yoga increases in knowledge and renunciation, the stage is called Jnana Yoga. Some Jnana will be there. When Jnana Yoga increases in meditation of Supreme Soul, Super Soul by different physical processes and the mind is on him, it is called Ashtanga Yoga, right? The Jnana will increase and one will do some practice, then all the eightfold mysticism will be there. When one surpasses the Ashtanga Yoga, ultimately come to the point of Supreme Personality Godhead Krishna, it is called Bhakti Yoga, the culmination. Actually, Bhakti Yoga is the ultimate goal, but to analyze Bhakti Yoga minutely, one has to understand these other yogas. Right? That's why we are understanding. You will say that why we are understanding, so that we can distinguish what is Dhyana Yoga, what is Karma Yoga, what is Bhakti Yoga, what is Ashtanga Yoga. One needs to have clear understanding. Is he doing Bhakti Yoga? Is he doing Ashtanga Yoga? Is he doing Karma Yoga? What kind of yoga one is doing? That is the main thing to learn. We need to know everything so that we are at the right stage. A yogi who is progressive is therefore on the true path of eternal good fortune. One who sticks to a particular point and does not make further progress is called that particular name. Karma yogi, Jnana yogi, Dhyan yogi, Raj yogi, Hatha yogi, etc. Right? Who will stick and okay, Hatha yogi is the best practice. Okay, he will be called Hatha yogi. Hatha yoga is the best. Raj yoga he is doing. Jnana yoga is doing. Jnana yogi will be called. Right? If one is fortunate enough to come to the point of Bhakti yoga, it is to be understood that he has surpassed all other yoga. Right? Therefore, to come to Krishna conscious is the highest stage of yoga, just as when we speak of Himalayan. refer to the world's highest mountains, of which the highest peak is Mount Everest, is considered to be culmination, right? Highest mountain is Mount Everest. Similarly, Bhakti Yoga is the topmost. It is by great fortune that one comes to Krishna consciousness on the path of Bhakti Yoga to become well situated according to Vedic direction. The ideal yogi concentrates his attention on Krishna, who is called Shama Sundara, who is as beautifully colored as a cloud, whose lotus-like face is as effulgent as the sun, whose dress is brilliant with jewels, and whose body is flower garland. Right? So this is all the paraphernalia. Yogi is concentrating his attention on Krishna, right? Sham Sundar face, and a lotus like face, effulgent as the sun, lotus feet is there, whose dress is brilliant with the jewels are there, body is like flower garlanded, right? Emanating by all sides his gorgeous luster, which is called the Brahmajuti, right? At the goal of Vrindavan, no sun is needed. He is there. He can incarnate in different forms. Rama, Narasimha, Varaha, and Krishna, the Supreme Person God, and descends like human being as a son of the Mother Yashoda, right? So he's like just playing like a human being. So even Brahma got confused that how can this be Supreme Personality Godhead? Your Mother Yashoda is running and he's tying him. How can he be Supreme Personality Godhead? Even he got the doubt. So he is known as Krishna, Govinda, and Vasudeva. He is perfect child, husband, friend, master. He is full with all opulences, right, and transcendent qualities. If one remains fully consciousness of these features of the Lord, he is called the highest, right? He is Krishna. Ata Shri Krishna Namadi, Na Bhavidrayam Indriya, right? The Krishna's forms, qualities, pastimes, etc. are all on the absolute level, but senses cannot, are not perfect, therefore we cannot appreciate it. So, but all these things are equivalent to Krishna. Krishna's name is equivalent to Krishna. The stage of highest perfection is yoga can be attained only by Bhakti Yoga as confirmed in Vedic literature. यस्य देवे परा भक्तिर्यथा देवे तथा गुरौ यत्तस्य ते कथिताय अर्था प्रकाशन्ते महात्मनः. Only those, only unto those great soul who have implicit faith in both the Lord and spiritual master are all imports of Vedic knowledge automatically revealed. Right? So, great soul who have implicit faith in both the Lord and spiritual master. One who having faith in the Lord itself will not do. One should have his faith in the spiritual master because he is the representative of the Lord. Sakshat Dharitven Samasta Shastra, right? In the morning prayer, the stanza comes. Sakshat Dharitven Samasta Shastra, right? The Supreme Lord is equivalent to the Lord, right? The spiritual master is equivalent to the Lord. He is representing the Lord, right? The spiritual master are all the imports of Vedic knowledge automatically revealed. So one must, basically have faith in his spiritual master and the Lord. Bhaktirasya bhajanam tada tadiha putropadhi nairashiyanamushnimin manaha kalpanam etadva naishkarmayam. Bhakti means devotion service to the Lord, which is free from desire for material profit. Right? So bhakti, what is the definition of bhakti? It means devotional service to the Lord, which is free from desire from material profit, either in this life or in the next. Never we want, right? So that is the attitude of the bhakti yoga. So devoid of such inclination, one should fully absorb the mind in supreme. That is the purpose of Nishkarma, Nishkam Karma Yoga. These are some of the means for performance of Bhakti Krishna consciousness, the highest perfection state of yoga system, right? Either one should, concentrate on his name, forms, or his pastimes, his glories, or one should consider the spiritual master and the Lord as the same, or he should be having no desire. He should be free from all the material profit, neither in this life or the next, right? So such is the practice of yoga, right? So here the Bhakti Yoga, the starting of the Bhakti Yoga will be start from 7th chapter. Before that, in the purpose, Srila Prabhupada tells beautifully, right, that what the best yogi. Thus, end the Bhakti Vedanta purpose to the 6th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam in the matter of Sankhya Yoga Brahma. Hare Krishna. Now it's on today's session. Anything to add? Now it's me. And Latika Matari is not done. And Right?
Sadhna Mataji.
Sadhana Mataji, yes. He is not joining. Anyone knows that what? All right. Okay. Anyone knows? Please contact them so that they join. Right? We are starting from tomorrow the Bhakti.
I know Sadhna Mataji. I can contact her.
Okay, okay, Mataji. Please contact her. Latika Mataji is also in your group, Mataji, in the WhatsApp.
No, Sadhna Mataji actually gave me number. That's why I know her.
Okay. Yeah, I will check. Thank you, Mataji. Very good, Mataji. पांचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो अनन्तकोटि वैष्णव शील प्रभुपाद की जय हरे कृष्ण एवरीवन